Finn Russell puts on a masterclass as Scotland thump Wales. My name's Mark, let's talk rugby. Scotland started much the better of the two teams. Early on, centres Tuipulotu and Hugh Jones combine. Jones goes through a hole, breaks deep into the Welsh 22, some decent scramble defence from Wales, but we come back for a penalty to Scotland. A bit of an early warning sign for Wales that, this Scotland team are very dangerous. Russell opens the scoring from the tee, 3-0 to Scotland. Scotland then, they continue to apply pressure. They force another penalty. Russell doubles the lead from the tee again, 6-0. As I said, it's all Scotland early doors. They do lose Hogg, who failed an HIA, doesn't come back on. Wales, they're trying to get themselves in the game. They manage to hold on to the ball and go through some phases. Hawkins is a willing runner for them. There's a ball over the top and Finn Russell gets isolated. Penalty to Wales. Wales decide that they're going to go for the corner rather than for the sticks. Scotland managed to nick it at the line out through Gray. He kind of gets a hand onto it and then Schumann claims the ball. Russell is able to click clear. Wales then, they come back again and they catch Van der Merwe behind the line. Scrum 5 to them. At least like at early stages, they look like there's a chance for them to maybe, respond and come back. They're showing some good intent and they're working their way into the game. Wales, so they're offside just after the scrum. Scotland get a penalty and they're let off the hook. Scotland then, they go up the line from there, set up the maul, they make good ground, and Turner carries well. Tuipulotu kind of does an extra roll before placing the ball, gives a penalty to Wales, so Wales come back again at Scotland. But Wales error from Dylan Lewis lets Scotland off again. From the scrum then, penalty to Scotland. Penalty to Wales from this scrum. Decide to go for the post, finally take some points because they've been trying to get over that line. They can't. Bigerdo pulls the penalty left and wide. One he probably should have kicked, so we're still at 6-0. Russell then puts a restart out on the full, and Wales, you feel like they're getting so many chances, and you think they've got to take one eventually, right? You have some strong carries then in the 22 from Owens and Jenkins. But Jamie Ritchie, great poacher, gets over the ball, wins that penalty for Scotland. And then Williams gets himself pinged offside from an up and under, and Russell puts that penalty into the 22. Scotland back on attack. They've gone from being kind of camped on their own line. Now they're back into the Welsh 22. They've shown that they are far more clinical. Dyer gets himself caught out of position as Scotland are attacking, but he managed to scramble back well, recovers, and himself and Adams put Stain into touch. We do come back for a penalty. There was a bit of a look at maybe Adams was a bit high in Stain, but we come back for the original penalty. Scotland set up the maul from the line out and Turner goes over. On field, decide that he's held up, but on the team overview, you can see that he does actually manage to get the ball down. Eventually, try Scotland. Russell converts 13-0. And as I said, Scotland are just so clinical at the moment. And, Wales are pretty much the complete opposite. Wales, they try to respond from the restart. Aggressive defence from Scotland. Good line speed. They're denying them progress. Turner, though, catches North high. But North kind of changes direction and height. So it means that it's a yellow rather than a red for Turner. He's off for 10 minutes. Bigger goes up the line from the penalty. North, at that time, he's actually left on the field. I'm wondering why isn't he brought off for an HIA, because he looked a bit groggy after the initial collision. Wales attack off the line out. They win another penalty. Play is stopped. We come back for the penalty. North does get pulled off for the HIA. At this stage, he does come back later on. Wales decide to go to the maul. Scotland hold them out initially, but then they get a second shove on, and Captain Ken Owens is there at the back of the maul. He goes over to score. Bigger converts that one from right out wide as well. We're at 13-7. You think, okay, finally Wales have got a bit of a foothold in the game. Maybe we're going to see a bit of a contest. Wales then, they're looking to apply more pressure while they've got the man advantage. But like, they've got errors from them, good defence from Scotland, really frustrating them. Finn Russell then just kind of flicks the ball out of the back of his hand, but there's no one there to gather. So Morgan manages to get over that, wins a penalty for Wales. Could have taken the points as kind of right in front, but they decide to go for the corner. Chunsa claims the line out for them. They go through the phases, and Cuthbert goes pretty close to the line. Bigger then is like, they kind of put the ball through the hands, and they're within a few minutes of the line. Bigger kind of almost in one motion flicks the ball on to Rio Dyer, who can't gather it. It was a pretty difficult ball to gather. Nice bit of skill by Bigger, but just kind of caught Dyer unaware as well. If he had a caught it, probably would have gone in to score. And that's how we end at halftime. Then the ball goes out there, and we're already in the red. So halftime is 13-7 to Scotland. Scotland, much the better team in the first half, but Wales did show signs, at least with the extra man, that they could put a bit of pressure on. Wales then start the second half on the front foot again. Williams, though, gets himself isolated, penalty to Scotland, and then there was only a couple of minutes left on the yellow card. So by the time that we set up for the line out after the penalty, they're back to 15. Schumann then, like the high tackle, he puts in a high tackle, but this one isn't a yellow card. It's just a high tackle. Allows Wales to come back into the Scotland half. Wales will make a mess of the line out, and Scotland actually make a break off the Welsh line out through Kinghorn up the wing. Russell then, they kind of put the ball back to Russell. He kicks an absolutely sublime 50-22 outside of the boot. Just amazing. Wales also managed to turn the ball over, and Dempsey gets pinged for tackling around the neck. Wales are able to clear. Scotland then, they come back again, and you can feel like, Scotland are starting to impose themselves again. At this stage, another barnstorming run from Van der Merwe gets deep into 22. We're playing advantage. There's a breakdown, and back we come for the penalty. Scotland, though, looking dangerous. Wales kind of clinging on at this stage. Russell attacks the line. He draws some defenders, and then he offloads out the back of the hand to Stain, who goes over in the corner. That's converted from the touchline. We're at 27. Wales then bring on Faletau for Morgan. They're looking for a bit of inspiration. North, though, gets himself caught offside. Penalty to Scotland. Van der Merwe then, like, anytime the guy gets the ball, he's just creating panic in that Welsh defence. And he's making great yards, drawing in defenders, making space. Scotland are clearly on top now. Williams gets himself a yellow card for killing the ball, and I feel like Scotland could seal the game while he's off the pitch. They go to the corner from the penalty. Gilchrist claims a line out for them. Wales defend them all well, but Russell puts in a great cross kick to Stain. He goes over for a second try, and at this stage it feels like it's kind of game over. Conversion's missed, 25-7, but it's hard to see how Wales are like, they're going to need to score 3 more tries to come back, and you just can't see how they're going to do that. Wales, so they do have a decent period of possession after this. They worked their way back into 22. Kerr, with some good carries, he goes close. Scotland managed to hold them out, but Ritchie gets pinged. Wales opt for the scrum from this. They attack then from the back of the scrum, but Kerr knocks on, and Russell is able to kick that one clear. Wales come back again. They're making some good ground through the maul, but Scotland managed to get in there, make it unplayable, and turn it over. And it's just kind of the way this Welsh team are. Like, they're getting into good positions, but they're not able to execute at all when they get into the red zone. Scotland, are just miles ahead of them in that regard. Once they get in with a chance, you're expecting them to score. So from here, Scotland then win a penalty from the scrum. Again, they're able to clear upfield. Wales are being very wasteful, but Scotland are making it really tough for them as well. Scotland then, they go in hunt for the bonus point try. They attack off a line out. They work it out to Russell. He pings a kick pass over to Van der Merwe, who kind of offloads or catches and then offloads kind of all in one motion as he's getting tackled. Inside to Kinghorn, and he cuts a nice line to go over for that bonus point try. Conversion is missed. We're at 30-7. Wales then, they go in hunt of a consolation try at least. They do go close through Rhys Kerr, but again gets held up over the line. Scotland are the ones, though, who actually get the last try of the game. They've got lots of pressure on the line. Russell finds Matt Fagerson out wide, and he goes over for the 5th try. The conversion is missed, but it's 35-7, and that's how we end. So let's have a quick look at some of the stats. During the week, I will go through kind of more detailed stats from the round, each of the teams, like who was the best and what kind of thing. But from this game, so possession was pretty even, 52% to Scotland to 48% for Wales. Territory, 40% for Scotland, Wales 60%, but Wales couldn't do anything with that 60%. And actually in the first half, they had, I think it was 70% territory, but still couldn't get the scores that they needed from that. Kicks pretty even, 29 from Scotland, 25 for Wales. Passes again, fairly even, 153 for Scotland, 165 for Wales. Runs, 96 Scotland, 116 Wales. So all of that kind of, fairly even, but then clean breaks, 10 for Scotland to 1 for Wales. And that's the thing, is that, Scotland, when they got in position, they were making those breaks, and they were making the most of the ball that they had. Defenders beaten as well, 28 for Scotland to 9 for Wales. I think that really tells you a tale. Like, the Scotland attack was just so sharp. Russell pulling the strings there, but then that centre partnership to Pilotu and Jones, really incisive as well. Van der Merwe and Stain, big threats out on the wing, and then the pack, like, really willing carriers in there. The likes of Gray, had Turner was immense for them as well. Both Fagersons there. What's the guy? Crosby, young Crosby did pretty well as well, and it was just like Wales could. You felt like at times they could play through 30-40 phases, and they just weren't going to get over the line. They just don't have that edge at the moment. In terms of then, like, the two teams, like Russell, in this form, the guy is irresistible. Like, he's almost unplayable. He just cuts the defense and sees things so easily, and just makes it look so easy. Like some of the stuff that he does, the offloads, the kicks through, that kind of stuff. Tuipulotu and Jones, as I said, they're looking like a class centre partnership at the moment. Xander Fagerson, I felt, did well on his return to the side. Wales, they did look a little livelier when Patchell and Webb came on as the halfback pairing, but they were well beaten. You know, whoever was at 9 or 10 today, I don't think it would have made a whole heap of difference to them. Now, I'd say the whispers of a possible Grand Slam for Scotland are definitely going to grow up there. And at the same time, Warren Gatland, like that guy has a hell of a job to turn around this Welsh team.